I've never done this before, mainly because we've never had a lockdown before. And it's hard work. It's hard work thinking, how can I help coach people, coach a group of young people, the other side of my camera, the other side of my phone, whilst looking at myself, which is not a pretty sight. But okay. You all know me from Vocalise. Some of you will have seen me now for the first time on the studio site. What I do is I like to teach young children how to sing in unison, how to develop them as soloists. And this is a learning curve for me too, because obviously I'm talking to people that aren't actually there. And welcome to my kitchen, by the way. Okay, right. So let's start with basics. Let's start with something very basic for this week to give you an idea of the mechanics of singing, so that you don't just open your mouth and scream like you do in the shower or when you want your parents to do something for you and they're refusing. Let's start to think about using our voice properly, so that if you want to sing in the future, and really if you have any ambition to sing publicly, sing professionally, then you need to start thinking about how you use your voice and how you use it with the mechanics for singing. So for instance, let me tell you this. There are 3 things that are very, very important in singing, and they are air, air, and air. Without proper breathing, without the proper use of the lungs and the organs of articulation, you can never actually produce the sound and the resonance and the power that you want to when you're singing. Some people, of course, are born with a natural ability to do it. And then some people have to be taught. Some people are born with nicer tones. Some people have to learn their tones. Some people are born with very natural, what we call vibratos, that sort of, that shake in the voice. Some people have to be taught how to find the vibrato. So let's start with breathing for singing, okay? And this is as good for adults as it is for young people and children. You really need to sort of learn how to breathe into your diaphragm. Use diaphragm breathing is key in singing. So for instance, when you take a breath, you really don't want to see this. You don't want to see the chest come out. You don't want to see the shoulders raise. What you actually want to see is for them to remain. And the stomach and the sides is what will expand when you're singing, when you're breathing into the diaphragm. And they're the areas in which the air should be concentrated, because then if you take a nice deep breath and you hit a note, then the air will carry the note out rather than you forcing it out on the little bit of breath that you manage to take into the top of your lungs. So I have a warm-up for you this week, which I think we can do soft and loud, just simply to give you an idea of breathing. I think that's probably the best way to start, because I'm learning myself in how to do virtual coaching here, and it's really quite difficult, okay? So breathing. So in warm-ups, I think it's always best, rather than doing scales, although scales are very, very useful, and arpeggios, which is a group of notes, I think the best way is to use a language that we don't necessarily speak, because then you're thinking of the sound and the breathing rather than the meaning of the words, which you don't know. So Afrikaans, for example, we're going to do a warm-up that a lot of the children who come through the doors at Vocalise will know, called Che Che Kule. And we'll do it softly first, taking very little breath, to give you a chance to learn it. So we're going to do it one line at a time, and I'm going to leave a pause so that you can actually sing it back to me, okay? So we go. Che Che Kule, Che Che Kofin Sa, Kofin Salanga, Kakashilanga, Kum Adende, Kum Adende, hey. Now that took no effort at all, because I'm not actually trying to sing out. But in the same vein, if we take our breath into the diaphragm, then we can give it a little bit more power. We can crescendo, we can sing it out. So if you check this with me, so we're going, breathing in, che che kule, che che kofinsa, kofinsa lenga, kakashilenga, kum adende, kum adende, hey! And feel free on the hey to sing it as loud as you want to celebrate the fact you've gotten to the end of that difficult piece of Afrikaans. I think what we'll do is we'll leave that with you this week and let you practice, but I'm going to give you one other little breathing exercise that a lot of my young people know, and that's the clock. And it's about being able to hold notes, being able to crescendo notes, to give you a chance to really feel how you're using your voice. Now, in singing, we use what we call the vocal elevator. So imagine that the diaphragm is the basement, the chest of the house, the chest is actually the sitting room, the throat area is the bedroom, and the head voice is the penthouse. Okay? So we need to think about how the sound travels through our body from the diaphragm out through the mouth using the shape of our mouth, our tongue, everything else. Okay, so right. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold a note. Now this is 12 o'clock. Obviously, we're going to go round until we get to 12 o'clock, holding that one note with me. Okay, and then just nice and gentle. Don't force it. Are we ready? Right. Easy. But next time we do it, we're going to breathe into our diaphragm and we're going to get louder, okay? And when we do this, and this is the last thing for today, when we do this, I want you to imagine that you're in the elevator on the basement, so that when you start to get louder and louder on the same note, you should feel the voice, you should feel the air traveling. You'll feel the sensation in your body that things are pushing up and out through your mouth when you do this correctly, okay? So we're going to go get louder, okay? Try and blow the camera on my phone away with the power, okay? So we're ready. So we take a nice breath. Shouldn't be forced. It should just naturally come, and you'll feel that sensation of the sound coming up and out. Okay, that's it for the first one. I hope that makes sense to anybody listening, if anybody's listening. And if not, well, you won't know what we're doing next week then, will you? I'm starting to look at ideas for call and response, so I can leave gaps so that you can come back on me, just to give you an idea of how to use your voice properly until this lockdown is over and we can all meet again on a Saturday at the studio. So thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye now.